Hi everyone, welcome back to the Indoor Garden series. We're filming inside today. I wanted to show you my indoor garden setup and also share with you how to water and fertilize your indoor plants. Now it's really a lot of fun to grow a few vegetables indoors, especially if you live in an area where it's too cold to grow outside right now. So here we've got a tiny Tim tomato, some herbs, lettuce, and then the crops that we planted on a video a couple of weeks ago. Before we jump into watering, let me just show you the grow light setup I have going on here. Now when you're growing vegetables inside, grow lights are critical. We don't have the sun inside, and oftentimes a sunny windowsill just doesn't provide the light that your vegetables need to be nice and productive for you. So don't be intimidated though. Grow lights are actually really easy to get set up. Got a video for you. All the details are covered in my book. Right here, I've got a clamp light. You might even already have one of these around your garage. So very inexpensive, special grow light bulb, which I do cover in the video. And you can see here, I've got my grow light just about 2 to 3 inches from my brand new tiny Tim tomato plant. And then this is so easy, you guys. You can clamp it onto your cabinets in your kitchen. Or right here, I've got a little setup with a gallon jug halfway filled with sand, PVC pipe stuck in, and the clamp light just clamps right on. So very, very easy. My little gallon jugs and PVC pipe are also holding up my shop light right here. And this shop light is really nice because you can see here it holds about 5 plants or so underneath it. So it gives you a good little amount of space. When you're using indoor grow lights, it is really important that you have your plants no more than 2 to 3 inches away from the light so they don't get leggy, don't have to stretch for the light. And you can adjust the height of your pots. Right here I just have a couple blocks of wood, so that makes it really handy. And also the chains on the shop light can be adjusted to move the light up and down as well. So it really is a nice, really simple setup. And these also have special grow light bulbs, which is all covered in that video I mentioned and in my book. So very easy, you guys. Take the time to get grow light set up. I promise you, you will not regret it, and go back and watch the video for all the details. So let's grab the pots and head into the kitchen for the watering. I absolutely love growing plants inside. There's just something about the pop of green that you see indoors, not to mention the brightly colored smart pots here, that just always lifts my spirits. Now for our indoor garden, we're keeping it simple. We're just growing lettuce, herbs, microgreens right here by the windowsill, and my favorite dwarf tiny Tim tomato. So if you missed the first video, go back and watch it so you know exactly how to get an indoor garden growing, and you can grow along with us. And we're also doing a giveaway at the end of the video, so stay tuned for how to enter. One of the questions I get asked the most is how, when, and how often to water my plants. And I wish there was a magic bullet answer for this, but it's really dependent on a lot of different factors. First of all, the temperature of your house, the type of soil you're using, and where you have your plants. But there are 3 really important clues that you can look for to determine when your plants need water. There's 2 types of people when it comes to watering. The underwatering, you know what happens when you underwater, your plants die, or the overwatering people. You overlove your plants, give them too much water, which can also kill your plants. So which type are you? Well, today I'm going to share with you exactly how to water. There's 3 clues to look for, so you don't have to worry and wonder when or how to water your plants. So the first clue you want to check out your plants is when the top of the soil turns a light brown color. That's a clue that your plants are drying out. You can also see how it's kind of cracked there. So this plant definitely does need some water. Now let me show you another plant here that has darker brown soil. And you can kind of see the contrast here. In this plant, we've got darker brown soil around the edges, a lighter brown soil in the middle. So we've got nice moist soil around the edges, but it's definitely drying out. So this plant probably needs some water too. Now the second clue to look for, besides the color of the soil, is the weight of the pot. What you'll notice is when your pot needs watering, it's going to be a lot lighter in weight than a pot that doesn't need watering. It's going to be a whole lot heavier because it has more moisture content. So trial and error, you'll start to know exactly how your pots feel when they dry out versus when they already have enough water. The third clue to look for when you're wondering if you should water your pots is to check the soil. So what you want to do, guys, is check your soil daily. You can just put your finger here in the soil, get it down to about that second knuckle. And then if it feels wet, that means it doesn't need water, but if it feels dry, it means your plants need water. So the 3 clues are, again, the color of the soil, the weight of the pot, and then check your soil to see if it's wet or dry. Once you've checked your plants for these 3 clues and determined that they do need water, then it's time to bring them over to the sink and give them a nice drink. Now what I like to do is water from the bottom. It's really a healthy way to water. That way the water isn't splashing up on your plants, which can cause diseases and other problems. And generally speaking, I water my plants about once a week. But again, check for those 3 clues and then you will be good to go. Like I said, a little bit of trial and error and you'll be watering like a pro. Now what I like to do is fertilize my plants once a week on the regular watering day. So what I'm going to do here is add some of the Vermistera worm tea and the Good Dirt plant food to my little watering bins. I'm just using a cookie sheet and also a plastic storage bin, and that way the water wicks up from the bottom through the plant and gives it the water and nutrients that it needs. So what you want to do on your seedlings, your small plants, is easy does it at half strength here for the liquid fertilizer. So I'm going to give about 1/4 cup of the Vermistera worm tea. The usual dose would be about 1/2 cup per gallon. So I'm just going to pour that into my tray. And the usual dose of the Good Dirt plant food would be 4 pumps, but half a dose is 2 pumps per gallon. I'm going to fill up my tray here. And the great thing about the Vermistera and the Good Dirt plant food is that it's not going to burn your plants. They're very gentle fertilizers, they're organic, and they work really, really well for your indoor plants. I'm going to do the same to my storage bin here. 1/4 cup. 2 pumps of the Good Dirt plant food. And one reason why I really love using the water-soluble fertilizers is because it's readily available to the plants, which is great when you're growing indoors because we want to grow lots of lettuce for salads and chives for scrambled eggs, not to mention the beautiful microgreens, which we can just snip and clip right into our meals. Now I'm just going to set the pots right into the tray here. This is the Paris cause lettuce. Can you believe we've just planted this 2 weeks ago? And it's already about 1 inch or so tall, and we're going to be harvesting it in about 4 to 6 weeks. So we've got our Paris cause. These are all from the Indoor Garden Seed Collection. Our Tiny Tim tomato. I absolutely love these tomatoes. They only grow to about 2 feet tall. They grow beautifully indoors, and I'll definitely bring you along for the process of maintaining that tomato plant and also when we harvest it. Here we've got some dill, and our basil is just starting to come up right here. So it's so much fun, you guys, to see these just sprouting and busting through the soil. So I really want to encourage you to grow an indoor garden and have a lot of fun with it over the winter months. And here we've got our microgreens, and these have been growing right by the windowsill. The great thing about microgreens is you don't even need a grow light. I just get indirect light here by my windowsill, and they are growing absolutely beautiful. And we're going to come back next week and do an indoor garden harvest. Aren't these pretty? This is arugula and also a beautiful red mustard greens, which I think looks really, really pretty in the CaliKim 1 gallon purple Smart Pots. If you started your indoor garden a couple of weeks ago, please leave me a comment below. Let me know how it's doing. I would love to hear how you're enjoying it and how your plants are growing. Now here we have the little Tiny Tim tomato we planted 2 weeks ago. Just coming up, so much fun to see. And the tomatoes and the basil have been a little bit slower coming up because it is cooler right now and they love the warm weather. But they definitely have been growing. So if yours are taking a little bit longer, just be patient, hang in there, and they're definitely going to pop up. So let me grab here my bronze mignonette lettuce. This has been growing for about 6 weeks, ready to harvest. So we'll do that on next week's video. We'll pop this here in the cookie tray. And then chives, which have been growing for a couple of months. We've been harvesting these, probably 3 or 4 harvests already, and really enjoying these in salads and in scrambled eggs especially. Now what I'm going to do is just let my plants get a nice good soaking, just leave them in here for maybe 30 minutes or so. And once the soil turns a darker brown color, that means they've soaked up all the water they need, and we'll remove them from the bins. My plants have been sitting about 30 minutes or so, and I did have to add a little bit more water to this more shallow tray here. So make sure you keep a good eye on things and make sure you're monitoring how the water is soaking up. But let me just show you the top of the soil here. It's a nice dark brown color, which indicates that there's a lot more water content in the soil, and the pot is definitely a lot heavier. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take the pots out of the bins. You don't want to let them sit in water because you don't want them getting root rot. So once they've soaked up the water that they need and the soil's a dark brown color, taking them out, setting them in these little plastic plant saucers, which I'll leave a link, an Amazon link for those, because these are really handy to set them in as they're sitting under the grow lights, so you don't get your cabinet or your tabletop all wet. So I'm just kind of letting them drip out here. And then if you still have water left in your tray, you can put it in a pitcher, save it for later use, throw it on your outdoor plants. If you haven't got your indoor garden started yet, it's not too late. You can grab an indoor garden seed collection and the CaliKim colored 1 gallons and get it started, and you are going to have so much fun. In just a moment, I'm going to put my plants back under the grow lights. But before I do that, let me share with you about the giveaway. Now, you guys are not going to want to miss this one. There's going to be 3 lucky winners, and let me tell you what the prizes are going to be. We're going to give away 2 sets of my brand new indoor garden seed collection, copy of my book, along with 1 each of the brand new colored CaliKim 1 gallon Smart Pots. So the Mandarin Orange, which is my favorite, the Berry Blue, and the Violet, and that's going to go to 2 lucky winners. Now the 3rd winner is going to win the grand prize, the Ultimate Indoor Garden Seed Kit, which includes 6 of the CaliKim Smart Pots, 2 of each color, the 5 gallon CaliKim Smart Pots, along with the indoor garden seed collection, 10 varieties in here to grow your indoor garden. And we're also throwing in a copy of a book called Garden Alchemy. This is by Stephanie Rose, and this is a fantastic book as well. It's got 80 recipes and concoctions for organic fertilizers, plant elixirs, potting mixes, and pest deterrents. So you definitely want to enter the giveaway for these 3 fantastic prizes, and here's how you enter. All you need to do is make a comment below this video on something you're excited about growing indoors or something you learned from this video, and you will be entered in the giveaway. And we're gonna do the giveaway live on Monday, December 14th, on my regular Monday live stream at noon Pacific time, and you definitely want to tune in to see if you're the winner. This is going to be so much fun, and the gifts will be sent out later next week. So make sure you enter, and good luck. I hope you win. Now I'm putting my plants back at their home under the indoor grow lights. And by the way, when you're growing under grow lights, you want to leave your grow lights on for 18 hours a day, off for 6 hours a day. And a really easy way to do this so you don't forget to turn them on and off is just simply hook your grow lights up to a timer, which I have right down here. Well, now that you know exactly how, when, and how often to water and fertilize your indoor seedlings, you're going to be growing a beautiful indoor garden that you can harvest beautiful herbs, lettuce, tomatoes, and enjoy all winter long when it's too cold to grow outside. Comment below to enter the giveaway. Let me know if you're growing an indoor garden. Make sure you subscribe and share with your friends so you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.